Welcome to Aging Well in America. I'm Anne Marie Gattari, your host. We have with us today a very exciting program. We are going to talk about gardening. Finally, spring is around the corner, and Danise DeNardo, who is a gardening expert, she has a company, 4Ps Yard Care.
Right.
Danise, I'm sorry, I just said your name wrong. Correct?
Danise DeNardo.
DeNardo.
Yes.
My apologies.
That's okay. It's okay.
What does 4Ps Yard Care stand for?
Planting, pruning, pulling weeds, plus more.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. That's what everybody needs when they're planting, pruning, pulling weeds.
The main thing.
Plus more.
Yes.
Danise, you've come today not only to talk about the beauty that gardening can provide in our lives, but how to do it as you age.
Right.
So many of our senior citizens, it's one of the first things they give up because gardening can be hard physical work.
Yes, it is.
But you have a lot of tips for us and some education on how to be able to continue that.
Right.
You've brought some beautiful flower arrangements just to represent the season.
You have to get into the season. Yes,
Yeah.
It's just almost there.
Tell us, what are some of the low maintenance flowers and greenery that people could plant that might be easy to take care of if you're 70 plus?
Right. Well, a lot of people now they have dwarf shrubs now, so they're full-grown shrubs. That way they have less maintenance as far as pruning, and they only go some of them only go to 3 to 4 feet in height, and so that way they stay there. You don't have to. All you got to do is worry about just pruning off the flowers at the end of the season.
Okay.
Annuals are easy to take care of because you just pull them out at the end of the season. You can get annuals that you don't have to deadhead, which deadheading is when the bloom is done.
Right.
You pull it off so it keeps blooming.
Right.
And that way they're done for the season. You don't have to worry about. But perennials they're a little bit more higher maintenance, but they can come back year after year, and
Yes.
once they're in there, they're there.
Right.
But they are a little bit more work. The least amount of maintenance, of course, is your lawn, but they want more color than that. You can get some ground covers that they do flower also, and it all depends on what kind you get, how tall you want it, or where you want it.
So when you're planning your garden, you should know, of course, which way your house is facing and
How much sun
what
you
the
get.
light is, if
Yep.
it's which direction it's coming from. And then what? Do you have a favorite website or book, or you go to your gardening center and talk with the experts there?
I usually go to my local garden center, the one that's been in family-owned businesses. They give you the best advice, and you always read the plant stickers. Make sure to plant the right spot. You may think you want to plant something where you think it's going to look the best, but it may not grow the best. It may do okay for a couple years, but after that, if it's not getting enough light or enough water or whatever it needs, it will die out eventually.
Okay.
So if you want to invest a certain amount, you don't want to waste your money
Right.
on plants that are not going to be there for at least 4, 5, 6 years or more.
Right.
So yeah, the tags are the main thing, and your employees at the garden centers, they will know quite a bit.
So that's really one of the best resources.
Right, and actually on some of those tags now, they have for smartphones, the smartphone, you can put your phone right on the tag, and it'll give you more information.
Oh, very
There
good.
are a lot of businesses, a lot of companies are doing that now too.
So read the tags.
Yeah, that's the
which
main
too
thing is your
many of
tag.
us
And if you're
don't.
still confused, talk to your employee at the garden center,
Okay.
and they will help you out more too.
Tell us how you got into this.
Actually, it was by accident, really. I was a licensed veterinary technician before I started this, and I actually got in a car accident.
Oh.
And I hurt my leg, and I could no longer do it. And I had been doing this. My mom had taught me this years. Well, when I was growing up, my mom, she taught me throughout the years how to garden because she always gardened. And I just was doing it as a hobby before I was a vet tech. And then when I could no longer do it, I go, well, what am I going to do now? I have to reinvent myself again. So actually, a friend of mine did handyman work, and she had a client who needed some outside work done too, and she couldn't do it. So I went over, weeded her beds for her, took care of everything, and word of mouth, it just kind of grew, and I decided with that, I might as well get into it full time.
Yeah, that's
So.
wonderful. And you're based here on the east side. So
But yeah, but I will go. I have clients in Royal Oak, Clinton Township,
Really?
Detroit, Grosse Pointe, St. Clair
if
Shores.
someone wants to get in touch with you, I know we have your contact information here,
Right.
your phone number. That's the best way to reach you.
Right,
Okay.
586-530-0620.
Great.
And I will go, pretty much everywhere.
And will you go and do a consultation and tell people what?
Yes, I will do that and give them an idea what needs to be done, what can be done. And also I have clients because the majority of my clients are seniors.
Are they?
And I will work along with them too. If they want to work in the yard with me, I will help them. If they can't do it at all, I'll do it all. But if they want to, I have a couple people that they work as far as they can go and then they stop.
Okay.
But they said, I still want to get in there and get my hands dirty, but I just can't do it all. So I just work along with them. And we get along and we give each other suggestions and tips, and I learn from them also too, things that
I bet you do.
Because they've been playing a lot longer than I have and taking care of gardens. So
you're not just a landscaper, but kind of a landscape partner.
Right, yeah.
Very good. Maybe that could be another P.
There you go.
Tell us about some of the tools that you've brought here. I know they are especially ergonomically correct.
Right.
So
okay.
So let's see what you found.
We can start with the water nozzles.
Okay.
Okay. This is a long reach one. And what's good about it is that you don't have to hold the handle down for water. You just turn it on and off here like that, and it has a moving head and different types of sprays that you want to do. But the main thing is that you don't have to hold the handle on to keep it open. This is the big thing here.
Okay.
And then this nozzle, I'm sweating. This nozzle is, you grasp it like that, and then you lock it, and you can let go. You can just hold on to it.
Okay, so you're not constantly squeezing.
Yeah, right. And it won't hurt your hands.
Yeah. If you've got a little arthritis or something, it'd be easier to hold.
And also with the nozzles, I've got a drip hose. Because a lot of people don't want to haul out a heavy hose anymore. That's too hard for them. So all you do is lay this down in your...
This is very lightweight.
If you can use this, some people you can't because of the way their gardens are set up, but if you can use this, you just lay it along the garden bed on the ground, and then just turn on from your faucet, and it just drips the water.
Because it's got holes throughout.
Right. Now, if you do have to use a hose and you have no choice, I suggest using a hose wheel. They have one actually you can hook up to your faucet, and when you turn off your faucet, it wheels in the hose for you.
Oh, my.
So you don't have to do it yourself.
Oh, my.
And they have electric ones, too.
Wow.
And just be careful of the hose you use if you don't want to be too heavy, but not too lightweight either, because then you want to get kind of in between.
Hoses are, they're
hardest.
They're one of the hardest parts about the whole
Right. That's why if you
have
to use one,
try
using a garden hose wheel.
Yeah.
But the good thing, if you can use, some people, it depends on how their yard is shaped.
Right.
They can't use that.
Okay.
But
you would recommend this.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we got the soft cushioned handled two-hand tools.
Yep.
It's easy on the hands.
Yeah.
It's got a nice little gel grip on it, so that's really nice.
Yes.
I like those.
Okay.
And then for the scissors, these are cushioned handled scissors, so it's easier on the fingers. Because sometimes you got to cut twine when you want to wrap things up or whatever.
Always need scissors in your toolbox.
And then we got two different kinds of pruners. Now this one here is for deadwood mostly.
This one?
Yes. This is called an anvil pruner.
A pretty traditional. How do you unlock it here?
Here we go. Yeah, this one goes. Okay, how did this one go? Well.
Okay, well, maybe
that's a brand new one. I never used that one before.
All right.
Must be that.
This one's difficult. We're probably not going to use that.
But this one here has got a grip on it that when you turn it turns with your fingers, so it's not hard for you to do. It's easier on the...
This is amazing.
Yeah, it's easier.
So it starts in this direction, and then the handle actually turns
towards you.
Toward you,
right?
Which is so much easier on your wrist, isn't it?
And I'd like to demonstrate how to use one. You can hold me with the stick for me.
Okay.
Because a lot of people, they have a tendency to cut with the very tip like that.
Right.
And you're not getting the full force of the pruners. The best is go all the way back and then go like that.
Okay.
That way you're getting the full force without putting more pressure on your wrist.
Yeah.
And your fingers. So.
Okay.
And I say these pruners actually are best for the greenwood. And those ones back there that we hit a problem with, that's good for deadwood.
Okay.
Those are called anvil pruners. These are bypass pruners.
Bypass
and anvils.
And anvils. Okay, very good.
And gloves too is a big thing. These are the kind that have the little grip on them, so when you have to use the long handle tools, that it gets a nice little grip, and they're not real heavy.
And they're also, are they water resistant?
A little bit, not as much as, because I use the other ones actually, but these are good because the air can get back to your back of your hand, so you don't sweat and have sweat inside your hand.
And you're able to pick things up there. It's a little more,
right,
it's a little tighter.
A little bit like rubber coating on there. So when you do grip like a rake or whatever, you can get a good full grip and it won't slide on your hands and be easier on you.
Can you throw these in the washer?
Yes, you could. Just let them. Do it just like a slow, like not a real heavy.
Is that how you wash your gloves? How do you wash yours?
Actually I have leather ones, so I can't. But you can. There's certain ones you can. Like these, you could, as long as you hand dry them. Or you can just put these in the faucet and sponge them up a little bit, and then clean them out that way.
Hang them outside somewhere.
Yeah,
on a clothesline if you still have one,
or
right?
fence posts. I have fence posts. I actually hang my gloves on there so they can dry out. But there's a wide variety of gloves, whatever you think that is best for you.
Okay.
Because it goes from like $5 to $25, depending. You can have leather ones with cushion in them. And but the only thing I have is they don't make a wide variety for women. So you got to be out there and really look around because they're more geared to the men's hands. And
they're big.
They're big and they're bulky and you can't really get that feel with your fingers. So a lot of times I will take my gloves off and just go barehanded when I pull weeds. Oh. Because I just got to get that feel of the dirt. Yeah. And so I guess when you're pulling a weed, you know whether or not you're getting the full root or not. Because if you don't, you just got, oh man, it broke. Now I got to go in there and get it with a trowel.
Yeah, so that's how. But you've brought some tools that are going to help us with some of that weeding.
Right.
Let's take a look at how we're going to use some of these tools. Okay. You're going to demonstrate the right way and the wrong way.
All right.
Okay, good. Great. So what is this one here?
Okay, this is a cultivator.
Cultivator.
To loosen your soil. The reason I brought it is because of the cushion handling. It's easier on the hands, and it's lightweight, so it's not like the real heavy.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can get a cultivator, but a lot of them are like the short handles, and you got to bend over, and that's just not good for your back.
So when you're trying to cultivate your soil and it's a little hard.
You just want to take short little strokes then. Or make sure you really get into the soil good, the tongs, and then pull short. And then once you get loose, you can do longer strides.
All right.
So you just want to be careful with that.
All right.
Okay.
And I'll put this over here.
Okay, and then we got your basic rake, but this rake is a good rake because it can adjust it to either a full rake for your grass or whatever, or you can go to a shrub rake.
I love that.
But the thing is, a lot of people, they do the raking the wrong way.
Yeah, that's another
What they'll do is they'll bend over like this, and then you hurt your back.
I do that.
So what you want to do is the same thing with the cultivator. You want to do stand up straight, short strokes. You'll get the work done, and it'll be a lot easier on you too.
Yeah, let's try that. So is this the right way to hold it?
Right, that's why they have the rubber there, so you can put your hand on there so you get a good grip.
So you're saying just short
and stand straight.
Stand straight steps. Okay. So when you're working side by side with some of your senior customers, do you sometimes give them a little...
give them a little advice, a little help, saying, don't hurt yourself. I don't want you hurting you. This is how you should do it.
Great.
And they're pretty much willing to listen.
Well, of course.
And then we got something new here that I found that it's good grass shears. But instead of having to bend down, that's on a handle. So you can just unlock it and you hold it like this with one hand, this hand, and you just go like that. And then also the head turns, so you can get the straight edge look too.
So these are, if you've got a garden here, there's actually a little. You've got grass that you can't get with the lawnmower. That's what this is all about.
And actually, I grow thyme in my front yard, and I can't use a weed whacker on it or anything, so I have to get down with grass shears, because I have it on my front yard along the sidewalk in the driveway, so I want to make it look nice and neat.
Yes.
So what I've been do for years is take my grass shears, bend over, and cut it all around. And I just found this, and it's like, oh man, this is going to help me a lot.
And this, you're right. This holds
and it's lightweight.
And it's very easy to use.
And Fiskars is a very good brand. I mean, they're very reliable. They've been around for years. And I always trust what they make.
And they're making more and more product for thinking of the age of
They're the ones that made the pruners with the moves. Yep.
Yes.
They actually still have it's a kind of called the claw. It helps. I have an older model, but they have a newer model where you can put your foot on it to help push it down into the ground, but her handle. Okay. So that way, because they're thinking of, because we're baby boomers, we're all aging.
That's right.
And we want to stick around and still do things.
That's right. We still want to have pretty yards.
Okay, this is a weed popper.
I love this.
Now,
this is my favorite.
Basically what you do. It's got little sharp bottoms on it. You just put it in the ground, just like that. twist it, and then kind of lift up, and then when you want to get rid of the weed, this little handle up here comes down and it pushes out the weed.
How does it grab the weed?
With the little teeth and the little, just because you have to do a, you put your foot on it, push down, do a twisting motion, and then it kind of pull up, and it grabs it. But the great thing is this thing pops it right out. Right, and then when you have a little hole in your grass or whatever, then leave it there because it's for aeration, and it'll just help your grass too. So.
Very nice.
And it's nice handles.
Yes.
Good grip, and that's for your foot.
Yep. Kind of like a pogo stick.
Yeah, it's kind of reminded me of when especially this part, when it popped up.
Right. Okay, wonderful. So we're going to put this over here. Okay. Now, this is something we see often.
Right. This is a kneeler. What I like about this being a kneeler is that you can get down, and you can still get back up again because you can hold the sides. Right. Now, if you need to sit, though, too, you can just turn it over, and you got a little seat.
Wonderful.
And also, if your knees are still a little sensitive, because this is not the real cushy, I add a couple of kneelers on it, and then it makes it a little bit more softer for you, too. Right. So this actually been my mom. She's had this for years and passed it on to me.
So it's very meaningful.
Yes, I still use it. Yeah. And it's called, even though looks like it's banged up, it's still doing really good for me.
Excellent.
So that's...
Yeah, this is one you're never going to want to replace, right?
No.
Okay.
And the reason I brought this Pruning, not only less than say what to use, but you can feel how heavy this is. And especially when you hold it with one hand. Yeah. So what I would suggest is you get a little plastic container, pour some in there, and then you can just hand broadcast it wherever you need to. That way your balances, you won't hear about being off balance and falling or anything like that. Okay. Because those things can get pretty heavy. Even though it's got a spreader on it, right? It's hard to do when you're older. Even for me, I used to do the same thing. I take it and put it in a small container. And
what kind of a container?
Any kind of plastic, or even if you got an old, like a vegetable can that you use for vegetables or whatever, pour some in there if you want, whatever. If that's any kind of plastic bowl or anything. Okay. Anything that's easy for you to hold on to or use or whatever.
Sure. Okay. That's another good tip. Okay. Now I know you've got quite a few more tools over there, so you're going to bring them over to us one at a time.
Sure. Okay, this is the claw. As I was explaining earlier, Fisker's got a different model of this one, but this is basically the same thing. When you got hard soil, a lot of people go to use a shovel. Well, when you're older, you're going to shovel your 1 foot. You could never know if you're going to. I mean, I do it. Right. So what you do is you push this into the ground, take your foot, kind of push it down a little bit, and just twist, half a twist. Okay. And then go back this way, and you're kind of like loosening the soil that way. Okay. And then I'll go back out and grab this tool here. It kind of goes along with it. This is called the weasel. So once you've got your soil loosened up, but it's clumpy. This will smooth it out.
Oh, it's got bells on it.
Right, and this got a nice handle. Plus, too, you can adjust this to you can take some of these off. Oh. If you got like a row of plants.
I see that right here.
You can take maybe this middle one out, and you can go in between your rows. This is good for like small weeds to get rid of, too. But it also, it gives it smooths out your soil.
And same small...
Right, small strokes. Especially when you're working in soil, you want to be careful. You don't want to jerk and whatever, because you could end up losing your balance and falling. Yeah. And don't let it work, not you. If it wants to go deeper into the soil, let it go. But if not, you can always keep it just on the top part of the soil.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Right. Yeah. Because usually you want to go down only like 2 or 3 inches into your soils where the weeds usually are. The smaller, if you get them soon enough.
So this will loosen and bring the weeds kind of to the surface, and then they're easier to pluck off.
Yep.
Is that the idea?
Loosen them up. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Let's see, what else do we have?
Okay, now if you do have to use a shovel, I suggest that one with the handle, because that way you can do 2 hands, and one with they make sure it's got a lip here.
For your foot.
For your foot, because a lot of them don't have that, and you can end up slipping. But I like the handle idea, because that way you can at least do 2 hands. Okay. And it's easier on, and this one's just a little bit short handle, so it's not way up high like some of them are.
So what's the proper body position to shovel something?
Well, make sure you're right behind it, even. Okay. And then you want to just come up slowly. Make sure you got your good grip there and come up slowly and just push down little by little. Don't try to jerk your foot down onto it like that. If the ground is hard, get your claw out, loosen it up first, but then also make sure you got a good quality shovel and not the real inexpensive ones where they will be dull. And so you just want to give the main thing about tools too, hand tools or regular tools, keep them sharp if you can, if they need to be, because they'll make things a lot easier. Use the right tool for the right job. A lot of people don't do that. They'll just pick whatever I'll just use that for this or whatever. Then it's a lot harder for them. And
can you take your tools to a garden center to have them sharpened?
Actually, a place to take them to would make a place that takes care of lawnmowers and does that, sharpens up. Because I have a chainsaw where I take the chain to it to get sharpened up. And actually, I do have. Actually, for hand tools, though, some stores do sell sharpeners right next to the hand tools. I know Lowe's has one. For your pruners.
So you can actually buy your sharpener
Right.
yourself, just like a knife sharpener.
Some do, some don't. It depends on where you go. But your bigger hand tools, you may want to take and get them sharpened at a lawn care service place that does that.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
All right. Let's see what else we have.
Okay, and as far as I didn't bring a broom, but as far as sweeping, I like the long-handled dust broom.
Of
Basic,
course,
simple.
it makes so much sense.
Because you don't see those that often, really. I mean, I saw some at the dollar store, but they're not. And as far as this quality kind, it's hard to find because they got the broom, all the kinds of brooms you can buy, all kinds of brooms. But they don't have
the dust
They have the
pans.
regular ones, and I like the long handle because you don't have to bend over again.
Of course. So always long handle.
Yes,
right?
if you can get it, that's the best.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I know people want to prune branches and stuff, and they think, I got to get on a ladder to prune a branch. Well, this is called an extended saw, which is 2 pieces, as you can see. They connect together. It's also got a lopper on it, which you can get small branches that higher up, and a regular saw that adjusts to different. But this is good because you don't have to get on a ladder. You can reach up. This is like an 8-foot reach. So I use this a lot.
So, but maybe this is one that you should do and not have your clients do, or have you
some
taught
can,
your client?
some can't.
Yeah.
I have some that can do that, but they prefer me to do it because it's just that sometimes they don't have the arm strength anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if they try and I got to get on, don't get on a ladder if you don't have to.
Okay.
That's what I recommend. I mean, if I can do it myself still, but I'm very careful about it. And if you do get on a ladder, make sure that it's on level. It's level.
And someone else is there.
If again, yes, because a lot of times a lot of the times the ground is uneven when you have gardens, and you just got to be careful that's the main thing, falling off of ladders and uneven ground.
Yeah.
So
okay, that's another. That's probably the most important tip.
Yes, and this goes with it also.
Okay. That looks familiar.
Yes. Like my mom, when she got older, when before I made her a staff to get around the yard. Actually, it's an old branch that I took the bark off.
Isn't it wonderful?
And put some polyurethane on it so she could walk around. And then as she got older, she had to go to a cane. Yeah. And I recommend a 4-prong cane because let's say your ground is uneven.
Right.
And if you use a single cane, it can just sink right in.
Yeah.
And if this starts to sink, at least you got a little bit more stability to it.
So this is another way, even if you're to the point where you're not doing much of the gardening yourself, you can get out there and walk around and enjoy it.
Right, and once the staff makes big, I'll show you. With the staff, at least, you can help when you bend over too. You need to bend over. It gives you a little bit of stability too. Because I use these sometimes when my back is bothering my knees or whatever. I'll just go down slow. I'll use this.
Right.
And then also my mom, when she got actually older, she used a walker. But what I had to do back when she started using walkers, I had to make my paths a little wider.
Okay.
They recommend that too. If you have garden paths, if you can extend them to like 3 to 5 feet wide, that will help you with. If you have to use a walker, then it helps you. You can still use your walker in the path.
Tell us a little bit about your mom. She seems to have inspired you quite a bit. What was her name?
Elaine.
Okay.
Yeah, she years ago when my father left us, she said, "I'm going to make the backyard the way I want to make it, not the way he wanted it." So she made it into all different types of gardens: a rock garden,
and
perennial
just used
garden.
her own.
She just
her
learned
own
on her
interest.
own. Yeah, just trial and error. Because back then they didn't have everything like they have now to go into the websites and all that kind of stuff. So she took the front yard and the backyard. And we were the weird people of the neighborhood because we didn't have grass out front. She had all different kinds of gardens, but every 3 to 5 years, she'd change the design of it.
Oh, my.
Oh, here we go again. But, I learned a lot from that.
I guess
she
you
did it for like 30, 40 years. And the backyard, we had a pool back there. My dad wanted to put a pool. I don't want this anymore, so we took it out, and she made gardens out of it, got rid of all the grass. There's no grass at all back there.
And she maintained it until she was how old?
Oh, geez, probably in her 70s.
Is that right?
And then it's when I started helping. Well, I helped her a little bit before that, but then I moved back in with her to help take care of her. And then we kind of worked together, and then she got into her 80s, and it's more or less I took over, and she was in her 90s when she passed away.
Oh, my.
But yeah, she kept going.
But she was still out there and enjoying it.
That's what kept her
like
going,
you said,
too.
using the tools you gave her making the garden path wider so she could
Right, yeah,
go out there and enjoy it.
Yeah, because she'd like to go out with the dog in the morning and watch, because we have bird houses, bird baths, and they would come in the spring and do
how
their thing.
wonderful.
And she likes to sit just out there, drink her coffee, and look at the pretty flowers. And it was, she enjoyed. She was there when she bought the house back in the 50s when the subdivision first started, and she stayed all her life, the rest of her life, till she passed away.
Oh,
So,
well,
yeah,
God bless you. You've done wonderful work with your mother, and look what she's inspired you to create this business that probably accidentally is serving senior citizens as maybe one of your biggest client bases.
It is. Yes, it is. And I've enjoyed because I had an own client that her husband passed away, and then she had to have knee surgery, and she didn't take care of her gardens for like 4 years, and they were like really bad shape. And she just felt so bad. She goes, "I'm just going to pull out and put grass there." And I said, "No, just wait. Let me take care of it. Get it going for you. Get it back the way you liked it." And now she's happy because she's in her 80s and she wants to stay in her house until she can't anymore.
And
she's very grateful.
Looking at it is probably one of the joys for her to get up.
Yeah, because that was her thing to do when she was able to take care of the garden.
Flowers, beautiful plants. They really do bring a sense of joy to us that we don't realize.
Yes.
Until it's not there.
Right. Yep.
A sense of serenity and harmony. And at that age, that's what we should all have, right?
Right. And then if you plant things that attract the butterflies, the birds, the bees.
And you can advise on all of that.
Yeah. Because I just read an article, and the English Garden sent me a magazine every time, because I buy from them a lot. And they had an article about how attracting butterflies and bees, what you can plant. And I kept it. I'm going to keep it and use it for reference. And but it's great because right now we have like 4 birdhouses in our backyard and one in the front yard. And right now this time of year they're getting their thing going with their nests. And I was actually out there yesterday because it was nice yesterday. That I was sitting there with my dog and just watching the birds do their thing. And
a beautiful spring day, and we're going to have more ahead of us. Denise, believe it or not, we've come to the end of our show.
Okay.
I want to thank you so
welcome.
much. 4 P's Yard Care.
Right.
God bless you. You're doing wonderful work
you.
in the community. You're bringing a lot of joy, I'm sure, to our senior citizen population.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you for coming to our show. Once again, we thank you for watching Aging Well in America, and we'll see you next time.